Cicada 3301. On January 4, 2012, a user on 4chan's paranormal board, known as /x/, created a thread that would fundamentally change the landscape of internet mysteries. The post contained a single, stark image. White text on a black background. The message was direct. Hello. We are looking for intelligent individuals in cryptography and steganography. To find them, we have devised a test. There is a message hidden in this image. Find it, and it will lead you on the road to finding us. Good luck. It was signed with a cryptic set of numbers. 3301. Most users on the board ignored it. /x/ is a hub for roleplay, hoaxes, and creepypasta. A recruitment test for a secret society is a standard troll post. But then, a curious user decided to open the image file in a text editor, viewing the raw code behind the JPEG from a regular notepad app. Usually, this results in a wall of unintelligible characters. But at the very end of the file, they found a readable string of text. It was a Caesar cipher, one of the oldest and simplest encryption methods in history. When the users shifted the letters by 4 spaces, they received a URL. The skepticism vanished. This wasn't a lazy prank. Someone had embedded a functional puzzle into the architecture of the file itself, but the URL didn't lead to a reward. It led to a picture of a wooden duck and a mocking message. Whoops, just decoys this way. Looks like you can't guess how to get the message out. The investigation moved from casual curiosity to obsessive technical analysis. Users realized the duck image contained hidden data using a technique called steganography. They used a tool called outguess to extract the information. This led to a Reddit thread, which contained a series of Mayan numerals. Converting these numerals revealed a book code. The users had to locate a specific text, a collection of medieval Welsh manuscripts called the Mabinogion, and apply the code to specific pages and lines. The difficulty curve was vertical. The puzzle demanded knowledge of cryptography, history, literature, and computer engineering. As thousands of users collaborated on IRC channels and dedicated wikis, the trail led to a phone number in Texas. Those brave enough to call were greeted by a robotic voicemail. It didn't offer answers. It told them to find 3 prime numbers hidden in the original image dimensions. Multiplying these numbers, 503, 509, and 3301, produced a new web address, 845145127.com. On this website, a countdown clock appeared. The internet waited. When the clock reached 0, the mystery shattered the digital barrier. Coordinates appeared on the screen. People physically raced to these locations. They found white papers taped to streetlights and telephone poles, bearing the image of a cicada and a QR code. This wasn't a teenager in a basement. This was an organization with global assets, capable of synchronizing a physical scavenger hunt across multiple continents. The QR codes led to a Tor hidden service on the dark web. There, the message changed. We want the best, not the followers. The organization, now known as Cicada 3301, accepted only a handful of the first solvers. Then, silence. Years later, a leaked email surfaced, allegedly from the winners. It claimed Cicada 3301 was a think tank dedicated to liberty, privacy, and cryptography, seeking to build uncrackable software for whistleblowers. But no one has ever confirmed this. We don't know if it was the NSA, a cyber mercenary group, or a cult. The puzzles returned in 2013 and 2014, but the original intent remains obscure. Number 2. Lake City Quiet Pills. For years, the website for Lake City Quiet Pills sat in a dusty corner of the internet. On the surface, it was a poorly designed image hosting site, theoretically for fans of quiet pills, a slang term for bullets. The forum was largely inactive, populated by spam bots and dead links. But in 2009, internet archivists noticed something strange in the site's source code. Hidden inside the HTML, invisible to the regular viewer but clear to anyone viewing the page source, were comments, thousands of them. They looked like chat messages between users with names like Angel and Milo. The language was cryptic. They spoke of parties, delivering furniture, and booking hotels. The central figure in this narrative was a Reddit user named Religion of Peace, known to the community as Milo. Milo was a prolific poster, often recounting stories from his time in the military or working as a private contractor. He was abrasive, knowledgeable about weaponry, and incredibly active. Then, abruptly, he stopped. On July 14, 2009, He posted that he was checking into a hotel. He never posted again. Soon after, a user named 2-6 appeared on the Lake City Quiet Pills site, announcing that Milo had died. The hidden HTML messages shifted tone. They spoke of a funeral and a transfer of assets. Investigators correlated the party dates in the hidden logs with real-world events. The most chilling match occurred in January 2010. The logs detailed a job involving a target in Dubai. They mentioned preparing the room and ensuring no furniture was left behind. On January 19, 2010, Mahmoud al-Mabhouh, a co-founder of the military wing of Hamas, was assassinated in a hotel room in Dubai. The details match the logs with terrifying precision. Al-Mabhouh was paralyzed and suffocated, a method that leaves no obvious signs of trauma, fitting the Quiet Pills moniker. The assassination was carried out by a hit team of at least 26 individuals who entered Dubai on fake passports. They used disguises, including tennis gear and wigs. The Lake City Quiet Pills logs mentioned costume requirements for the party guests. The timeline of the party, in the code, aligned perfectly with the operational window of the assassination. Lake City Quiet Pills was a bulletin board for mercenaries. The furniture they moved was military hardware. The parties were hits. The bad HTML was a deliberate camouflage that no casual browser would look at twice. As soon as Reddit and 4chan began to piece this together, the logs were scrubbed. The Angel user disappeared. The site eventually went offline entirely. We are left with a disturbing possibility. We were reading the timesheets of a private assassination squad. Lake City Quiet Pill has never been solved to this day. Number 3. 11B-X-1371. In May 2015, the editors of a Swedish tech blog called Gadget Zez received a physical envelope in the mail. It arrived from Poland. There was no return address. Inside the envelope was a single DVD. When they inserted it into a computer, a video menu appeared. The video, titled 11B-X-1371, it features a figure standing in the center of a dilapidated, graffiti-covered room. They are wearing a black robe and a long-beaked plague doctor mask. For 2 minutes, the figure simply stands there, making jerky, unnatural movements. They raise a hand. An embedded light in their palm blinks in an erratic, staccato pattern. The audio is the worst part. It's all discordant noise. Gadget Zazi posted the video online, asking for help. The internet obliged, and the breakdown began. Users realized the blinking light in the figure's hand was Morse code. Decoded, it spelled out a phrase in binary, red lips like 10th. This was an anagram for kill the president. The tension spiked immediately. Was this a threat, and was this some sort of terrorist? The audio engineers took over next. They ran the buzzing soundtrack through a spectrogram, a tool that visualizes sound frequencies as a graph. What they found hidden in the sound waves was horrifying. The audio frequencies formed distinct images. There was a picture of a human skull, and there were images that appeared to be crime scene photos, specifically women being bound and tortured. One of the images in the spectrogram contained text, "You are already dead." The investigation went global. Users identified the location of the video, the Zofiówka Sanatorium in Otwock, Poland. It was an abandoned mental health facility with a dark history. During World War II, it was part of the relentless Action T4 euthanasia program run by the Nazis, where they slaughtered 300,000 disabled people. Further decryption of the visual codes in the video revealed coordinates for the White House in Washington, D.C. Another cipher, when run through an Enigma machine simulator, read, "The eagle infected will spread his disease. We are the antivirus." The FBI was reportedly notified. The combination of presidential threats and the sophisticated steganography suggested a serious terrorist warning. Months later, a man named Parker Warner Wright came forward on social media. He claimed the video was an art project. To prove it, he released a sequel, filmed in the same location with the same costume, holding a newspaper to verify the date. Wright claimed it was a test of his skills in costume design and cryptography. He wanted to see how the internet would react to such a disturbing video. The threat wasn't real, but for those few weeks in 2015, the fear was tangible. The video proved that a single person with enough technical skill and a mask could hold the world's attention. Number 4. KFC Murder Chicks. It began on 4chan with a discussion about obscure music. Users were talking about a band called KFC Murder Chicks. The premise was bizarre. A group of homeless girls who lived in a KFC restaurant and made punk music on stolen laptops. It seemed like a standard internet oddity, a piece of outsider art. But as users dug into the band's website and wiki, they noticed a recurring, nonsensical word: erratas. The word appeared in file names, in hidden text, and in the metadata of the band's images. Naturally, users began to search for it. This is where the story shifts from weird to paranoid. Users who searched for erratas or dug deep into the KFC Murder Chicks website began reporting anomalies. They claimed their computers slowed down. Hard drives were wiped. Batteries drained instantly. Some reported that their webcams would turn on by themselves. A thread on 4chan's paranoid board became a dedicated containment zone for these reports. Users described a sense of being constantly spied on. The erratas trail led to a real-world company. Investigators found a trademark for erratas, with one R, linked to a software firm focused on corporate surveillance and data collection. The theory emerged that the KFC Murder Chicks wasn't a band. It was a honeypot. The idea was that the company had created a nonsensical, creepy mystery to identify a specific type of person: the obsessives. The people who look at source code, the people who use Tor, the people who don't stop digging. By searching for erratas, you were flagging yourself in a database. You were identifying yourself as a high-value target for recruitment, or perhaps for monitoring. The glitches reported by users weren't ghosts. They were supposedly the result of invasive tracking malware deploying onto the machines of anyone foolish enough to click the links. One of the central figures, the supposed creator of the band, was a DJ named Roswell. In interviews, he has been vague, treating the project as a mixture of reality and fiction. But the link to the surveillance firm remains the sticking point. The address listed for the erratas trademark led to a warehouse in Hawaii, and then to a series of shell companies in Utah. This mystery has stayed not yet 100% solved to this day. Make sure to subscribe for weekly videos like this one.